Welcome back to the rundown. Now, when he purchased Twitter, Elon Musk promised to loosen restrictions on the platform in the name of free speech. And the departure and dismissal of many top executives who were tasked with monitoring and moderating that content seem to have even accelerated the process, perhaps too much. Musk is being accused of opening the floodgates for a sharp rise in racist and anti-Semitic material on Twitter. For example, the ADL identified a coordinated effort to spread Jew hatred content that saw over 1,200 tweets and retweets of anti-Semitic memes related to Musk's acquisition in just the first 24 hours after that was finalized. Celebrities like Kanye West and Kyrie Irving also using the platform to spread anti-Semitic invective and content. Now 180 NGOs under the direction of the International Legal Forum have issued a public letter to Musk calling on him to, quote, update Twitter's anti-hate policies by adopting the globally recognized International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance working definition of anti-Semitism as a guiding tool to stymie the spread of Jew hatred. Well, joining us now in studio is Arsen, an attorney and the CEO of the International Legal Forum. And Arsen, I just sort of sketched out the problem. Maybe expand on the bit. How serious is it when we're talking about Twitter and anti-Semitic content?
It's incredibly serious. When Elon Musk purchased Twitter, he said the bird is free. But what we've also seen is that there's been a torrent of Jew hatred and anti-Semitism that has been unleashed. Now, I don't believe that was ever his intention. He's someone who just deeply believes in free speech and expression of ideas. And we've already seen for a number of years Twitter becoming essentially a cesspool of hate and vitriol and anti-Semitism. And what we know is that words have consequences, have ramifications. Words lead to violence, violence against Jews, violence against minorities. So what this letter campaign signed by 180 civil society organizations around the world, including ours, is calling on Elon Musk, on Twitter leadership, to take action now against the anti-Semitism and starting by adopting the IHRA definition.
Right, let's talk about that, because let's not assume that everybody knows what the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism is, and there's some disagreement about that as well.
Sure, look, there is some disagreement, but at the end of the day, the IHRA definition, which stands for the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, working definition of anti-Semitism, it is the most widely endorsed and accepted definition of anti-Semitism, adopted by some almost 40 countries, including the United States, many others across Europe and elsewhere around the world, including Asia as well. And the definition is very clear on what is and what isn't anti-Semitism. And when it talks about examples of anti-Semitism, it talks not only about the use of stereotypes against Jews, the kind that we saw by Kanye West, for example. It also talks about making Nazi analogies against the Jewish people, against Israel. And it does also refer to Israel, specifically saying that criticism leveled against Israel, like to the same extent against any other country, is not anti-Semitic, but it does give examples when it does cross that line, including by denying Jewish people the right to self-determination, by making these kinds of stereotypical comparisons.
Right. So let's talk about now how you went about getting the NGOs that are involved here, gathering them together, and then deciding to issue the letter in a sort of public manner.
Look, I mean, I should just reiterate, we were just one of the 180 that have that signed on to this letter campaign with respect to Elon Musk and the Twitter leadership. But look, there's been a recognition for a long time now, not only in the Jewish world, in the Israel advocacy world, but certainly those that are dealing on combating racial hatred and anti-Semitism that are active online. Anyone that has to, spend 2 minutes on Twitter can see the kind of vitriol that there is there. So there's been that recognition that something has to happen, and it has to happen now. We see anti-Semitism exploding across the United States, across the world, quite frankly, and we have the tools for that. It's a matter of willpower. We have a definition of what anti-Semitism is, how to identify it, what constitutes anti-Semitism. So the call now is on Elon Musk to actually adopt this definition and take concrete, tangible steps.
Briefly, this Twitter, of course, is a private company. Elon Musk can decide or not decide. Should there, if he decides not to say adopt these guidelines, should there be look at regulation, government regulation of some kind of this content?
Look, perhaps that's certainly an option if this continues unabated. But look, Elon Musk is someone who I believe means well. He's someone who we know has, incredible creative, innovative genius. There are steps they can take. If they can ban some people from Twitter, they can certainly ban those like Ayatollah Khamenei, who literally calls for the genocide of Israel and the Jewish people. They can flag tweets, which they already do for misinformation. So they can flag them also for anti-Semitism, or when we see Holocaust distortion, which is becoming a lot more prevalent. There are certainly tools available that don't require, cancelling speech, but monitoring, but educating as well. So there are a lot of steps that can and really ought to be taken now.
Well, certainly Elon Musk, this is one of the issues he's going to have to grapple with. Just even on a business perspective, this is what advertisers want to see, some kind of guidelines being set. Arsen Ostrovsky of the International Legal Forum, thank you for joining us on the Rundown.